Hi guys, this is Ali Royce, and today I will be going over my March Madness picks for 2019. So first we have the first four in Dayton, and if that's the case, first we pretty much will have North Carolina Central against North Dakota State, in which I think that North Dakota State's probably gonna win. Based on how big their schools are, I think that North Dakota State pretty much has an advantage. Next, we pretty much have Frank Dickinson against Prairie View, and I think that Prairie View is going to win. It is indeed their first time going to the NCAA tournament in my belief. And I think Prairie View's pretty much got the upper hand. Last year, Texas Southern went to the NCAA tournament in 2018, and I think Prairie View is kind of like in a stronger position at this point. So next, we've got Belmont against Temple, and I think that Temple's pretty much gonna have the upper hand in this one. Temple's been in a bunch of first rounds, and they may have gone to a bit of second rounds as well. However, I think that Temple's pretty much got the more experience when it comes to NCAA tournaments. And next we've got Arizona State against St. John's. Like I said about Belmont and Temple, I think that Arizona State has the upper hand coming into the NCAA tournament experiences. Anyways, let's move on to the first parts of the actual brackets. So basically, first we've got Duke against North Carolina Central or North Dakota State, in which I'm picking North Dakota State. So it's Duke against North Dakota State, and obviously I have Duke as the upper hand in this one. Basically, Duke's pretty much got the upper hand in school wide. I think that the players are just all great. Zion Williamson's pretty much a beast out there. And next, we've got VCU against UCF. I think VCU's got the upper hand based on their tournament experiences. They've actually been to the Final Four once in 2011, having themselves get it upsetting Kansas in the Elite Eight. So I'm going to have Duke and VCU face off in the second round. Basically, next we've got Mississippi State against Liberty, and I'm pretty much going to go with Mississippi State in this one. Even though the rest of my family's going for Liberty in this one, I actually think that Mississippi State's got the upper hand. They've pretty much got, like, even though they've got like a better record, I still think that they've got like a lot of pretty good players that can pretty much make an impact once they hit the NBA. Next, we got Virginia Tech against St. Louis. I think that Virginia Tech's pretty much gonna win this one. Based on how I think that it's gonna be a bit close in this one. However, I think that Virginia Tech's gonna pull off this one. So anyways, I've got Virginia Tech and Mississippi State facing it off in the second round. Next, we've got Maryland against Belmont and Temple, in which I think Maryland's gonna pull it off in this one. Even though they've made the national championship in 2003 and ended up winning, they're still a pretty strong team, and I actually know that. So basically, I'm gonna have them in the second round. LSU against Yale. I think that LSU is pretty much gonna win this one. Despite the fact that Yale upset Baylor in 2016, I'm pretty sure that Yale's probably not gonna be as strong as before. So basically, I'm going to have Maryland and LSU in the second round. Next, we've got Louisville against Minnesota, and I actually think that Minnesota is pretty much going to pull off this one. Louisville did win the championship in 2013, but their title was actually taken away from them due to scheduling in the past couple of years. Even though they've got a bit of a strong team, I'm still giving Minnesota a bit of a chance. And next, we've got Michigan State and Bradley facing off, and I'm thinking that Michigan State's pretty much gonna pull this one off, obviously. Even though Bradley upset Kansas as the 13th seed like about over a decade ago. So basically, I'm gonna have Minnesota and Michigan State face off in the second round. Next, and this was probably the South bracket I was talking about. Was that the South? Oh, that was the East bracket. So next we got the West bracket, in which first off we got Gonzaga against Frank Dickinson University or Prairie View, in which I got Prairie View winning over FDU, in which Gonzaga is pretty much obviously gonna win. Next we got Syracuse against Baylor. I think that Syracuse is going to have the upper hand. Baylor has been struggling a little bit in the NCAA tournament lately, so that's why I'm pretty much going to give the upper hand to Syracuse in this one. So I'm going to have Gonzaga and Syracuse face off in the second round. Next, we've got Marquette versus Murray State, and I think this is probably going to be one of the only biggest upsets I'm going to have in my bracket. Murray State's pretty much going to win. I pretty much don't know if Marquette has had any experience in the NCAA tournament, even though they got a bit of a strong team. But I probably predict that they've pretty much experienced NCAA tournament experience when they had Dwayne Wade back in 2002. Oh, next we've got Florida State and Vermont, and I'm pretty sure that Florida State's pretty much gonna win. They had a really strong team last year, only to fall to Michigan last year, but I still think they're gonna have a heck of a run. I'm probably gonna. So we're gonna have Murray State and Florida State in my predictions for the second round. Next, we've got Buffalo against Arizona State, in which they won over St. John's in the first four. Speaking of first four, this is the second year in a row they've pretty much gone to the first four, in which I think that Buffalo's going to win. Probably easy. Last year, they faced Arizona, and they pretty much just blew them out. So Buffalo's obviously going to go to the second round. Texas Tech and Northern Kentucky are playing in the round of 64, and I'm pretty sure Texas Tech is going to go to the second round too. They had a really strong team back last year in which they almost made it to the Final Four, but nevertheless, they lost against Villanova. So I'm having Buffalo versus Texas Tech in the second round. Next, I'm pretty much gonna have Nevada against Florida. I mean, I know that Florida pretty much ended up pretty strong back in 2014, and they did pretty well back in 2017, making the Elite Eight. But Nevada actually did really well in the NCAA tournament last year, only to lose against Loyola Chicago in the Sweet 16, unfortunately. So I'm giving Nevada another chance, and in my bracket last year, I actually made them lose against my eventual runner-up, which is Texas. I mean, they lost in the first round, which was unfortunate for me. So Nevada is going to the second round, and next we got Michigan against Montana, in which I'm obviously gonna have Michigan go on the upper hand. So it's Nevada against Michigan in the second round of 62, or should I say, second round of March Madness. Obviously, And obviously, Michigan played against Montana in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year. Also, Michigan was the 3 seed at the time, so it is pretty apparent. Okay, so now we've got to now we're pretty much at the now we're at the South bracket. We got finished with the West bracket. So first we got Virginia against G Webb, in which I'm actually giving Virginia a win for this one because obviously G Webb probably has no experience in the NCAA tournament whatsoever. And plus, I'm giving Virginia another chance, even though I pretty much don't like them that much. But they're going to the second round. And next, we've got Ole Miss versus Oklahoma. And I think that